Hey Keith, I want to welcome you to the show today.
Thank you, Bill. Pleasure to be here.
So agility, IT's in a hot spot now where you think it's kind of make it or break it, and you're seeing some wins from some of the lobbying you've done over the past year or two. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, as we all know, the COVID-19 has everybody working remotely for the most part. This has given an opportunity for IT to stand in the forefront, to lead the troops from afar, and it's put some real value behind previous pitches that I've given to my C-suite to bring in different solutions to help with our flexibility and our elasticity. Now, at the drop of a hat, where people are out of office and need that flexibility, I'm seeing that I'm seeing the C-suite value my words even more nowadays because they see the technology in action. We
Yeah,
didn't skip a beat, fortunately, and that at the end of the day puts a nice shiny star next to the IT department.
that's fantastic. What were some of the things you lobbied for? Like what some of the tools, strategies that you're seeing used now that you were fortunate you were lobbying for in the past?
It's funny you mentioned we're on a Zoom call now. About 6 months ago, I introduced Zoom to the organization as we begin to phase out traditional phone lines and want to integrate more video and face-to-face, put more of a personalized touch to our communication. Well, that slowly but surely began to take off. And now all of a sudden, with executives working from home, key people in different departments needing to stay connected, we were able to purchase multiple licensing at the drop of a hat. And now we're holding all staff meetings twice a day. Everybody, 100% attendance is required unless you're on paid time off. And it's gone without a hitch. And it's
Great.
brought a good, interesting connection between our staff as well. We can kind of see how we're all living. We're getting to meet each other's pets and putting a little bit of a light side to, just the day-to-day work when you meet people's kids and there are others walking around the house. So it kind of makes it fun.
Yeah, that is kind of cool how you sort of get a peek into the window of people's personal lives, surrounding them in this different situation, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So where do you see some of so let's introduce like what your organization does to the folks listening, and just roughly what your value is to your customers, what you provide.
Great. Well, I'm the Vice President of Information Technology for Visit Philadelphia. The name is the mission. Visit Philadelphia. We want people to come visit our great city, to stay at the hotels, to eat our great food, to experience the nightlife, anything and everything that we have to offer for business and leisure tourists. The leisure tourism market is taking a real hit right now, and business as well. Conventions are canceling. People are putting their spring and summer vacation plans on hold. So now IT has another opportunity to find value in other areas we do. Our research is proving to be invaluable to the city and the state. We recently had the mayor of the city go with the first virtual press conference through Zoom, through our recommendation for Zoom, and use our research on data that we gathered around the customer mindset at this time. It's a confusing time and people aren't exactly sure what they want to do.
So what type of data is that? Like you said, the mindset. Like what kind of information would the mayor be looking for? Like the likelihood of rebooking, things like that.
Our first step was looking at the hotel occupancy and how it's dropped tremendously.
Yeah.
I don't want to give a mischaracterization of a number, but I know it was a large drop off. We're typically at an 80% occupancy rate, and that's well under 50 now. And that's a big hit. Our organization is dependent on hotel tax revenue, so we need to make that up somewhere down the road. Second part, we began a nationwide poll asking people directly about their feedback on the mindset of travel. We still understand it's early in the game and people are still overcoming fear and uncertainty around other things, but at the same token, we want to be early and gather as much data as possible. So it's a continuing gathering of data at the moment.
What do those tools look like? Like, do you just run those tools like on a search engine? Do you create like a landing page and ask people to vote? Like, do you have a series of questions? Like, are there services that do this? That's a completely.
Yeah, well, we are working in conjunction with a consulting firm. We've also utilized SurveyMonkey, which is one of our tools, to build customized forms and surveys to reach our stakeholders and those interested in our services and
Yeah.
offerings. Stay connected. And social media has been a big tool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just gathering feedback. People are never afraid to speak their mind online, so we find that is a good area to get valuable
Like sentiment.
information.
So you can get like a sentiment review by kind of watching Instagram and Twitter and
Exactly.
different feeds. Okay. And Facebook, I guess, as well. Okay.
Yeah,
And
Facebook's great.
what about so where do you see yourself playing with offense? I imagine that helping the hotels regenerate revenue and are you going to help in that kind of that tip of the spear activity and really see how they can put kind of a bait or hook in the water?
Yeah, heads in beds are going to be our goal. We anticipate a quick rebound once this is all behind us. We're taking the initiative to use technology to celebrate those reopening, kind of treating every reopening as a new grand opening, kind of blasting it out through our social media properties and letting everybody know that Philadelphia is still open for business.
I love that. I was just thinking about that. Yes, I was thinking about that this morning. Like we've had to cancel our trips, and I'm like, man, what a great. I was thinking about I wanted to go back to Martha's Vineyard, and I'm like, what a great time to actually rebook. You probably could get some really advantaged early bird rates to get back.
Yeah, that's. I personally have taken advantage of some early bird rates, but that's a fine line that we walk in Philadelphia. We don't want to be viewed as a discount destination.
Sure.
So it's important to us to keep those hotel rates at a decent, respectable rate because, again, our funding comes from that. And also, we have a lot to offer. So we kind of consider ourselves in the upper echelon of places to visit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, it seems like getting the volume back going. We got to get American business back online, not metaphorically, metaphorically online.
We see opportunity too because I think people who've had trips maybe to Europe, the cruise line industry, there are some areas that are going to have a stigma moving forward to where Philadelphia can possibly, I don't want to say take advantage, but maybe attract customers who had thoughts of going elsewhere, but that's no longer an option. We're within a 5-hour drive of a large handful of destinations, and it's a very accessible city. So it could be
100%. Yeah, I mean, 100%. This is going to be, and I would not want to be in the cruise business. I imagine the last industry to rebound from this is going to be the cruise business for sure. But
yeah.
But what a great opportunity to play offense as an IT leader to really help all the business units figure out a way to revitalize customer interaction and come up with new ways of re-engaging and getting the brand awareness out into the world. I wonder if you guys thought of like launching, like maybe you probably already have this, like a Come to Philly podcast or something like that where you.
Funny you mentioned Love and Grit. Episode number 2 coming this week. It's available on iTunes, Spotify, all of the above, and that we're playing offense there too. Instead of selling Philadelphia as a destination, we're using that as a voice of recovery to let people know that we're ready to help heal, and we want this world to bounce back and bounce back quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the whole Rocky theme and everything with the Philly. You can have, you got some branding opportunities there. That podcast would be great, just because being able to highlight different destinations to go to within Philly is such a great city.
Yeah, it's a city full of neighborhoods. Everywhere you go, you can find something new and authentic. That's our calling card.
I'm just glad Tom Brady didn't go there. That would have been that would have been really sad.
I'm sad that he left New England, to tell you the truth. I was hoping he'd end his career.
Well, I'm from New England, so it was sad to see him go, but it was a good run because I grew up during the days when it was Steve Grogan, and it was just bad for the Patriots.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, well, it was a heck of a run, my friend.
It was a heck of a run. Well, you guys had a good year a couple of years ago. So, Well, listen, this is great. This is a different flavor conversation with you, and I think it's really important for people to see the various industry segments that I'm having conversations about, and your role in playing a part of revitalizing your mission.
Yeah, and I appreciate everything. I listen to your podcast. I appreciate your lunch and learns. They're very valuable. Just the method of seeing around corners and being, agile. It's a whole new way of thinking, and it's come in handy in situations like this.
Well, you and I have talked quite a bit, and your brain, I think it's really important for people's brains not to go in defense right now, and to really play offense. And you're fortunate you were ahead of the curve with some of the remote tools and stuff, so you're not playing defense there. But now we can flip and help the business and help them help recovery. I mean, help recovery in the cities and the hotels, and get the nation back online. And the time to do that is now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Keith, it's been a pleasure, and I thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Bill. Great to talk to you.